Okay, so before we start, here are some housekeeping announcements. Your mic is on mute by default. If you have any questions during the webinar, you may utilize the Q&A panel on the right-hand side. Please direct your questions to all panelists. Our presenter will attend to your question throughout the webinar. Sorry, Roger, can you show the agenda? Okay. Here are some cool features in this platform that you can use to interact with us. Now, look at the panel participant tab on the right. If you do not see any participant tab, you may call it out by selecting the participant icon at the bottom right of your screen. At the bottom of the participant tab, you will find two icons, the raise hand and the feedback icon. You may use all those icons to interact with us throughout the webinar. Lastly, you may find a pop-out online survey form upon we end this webinar. We highly appreciate your help to complete the online survey for us. Okay, so here is our today agenda. Today agenda, we will talk about overview of Cisco Security, and then overview of Cisco SecureX, followed up by demo. So after the demo, we have a Q&A sessions. Then last but not least will be a partner onboarding session. Please stay with us until the end of the webinar, as we will share our latest promo on Cisco Security, which is exclusive by Ingram Micro. So, without further ado, please join me to welcome Roger Wu, our technical sales engineer from Ingram Micro, to present on the Cisco solutions and the demo to you. Hi, Roger, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Koi. Very good morning, everyone. Yeah, so today I'll be going through the overview of the Cisco security products, plus also the Cisco SecureX. Okay, and I'll also be doing some demo. Okay. So basically, for Cisco security, okay, so our start with is of course with our Cisco Secure Access by Duo. So this is basically our so-called MFA solution. Okay, so basically for secure Cisco Duo, we can actually integrate with your application that actually supports XML, or basically any. You can also actually connect to your VPN to do all the 2FA authentication, and also you can actually have user to self-enroll their own MFA. Okay, so basically what we need the MFA is because nowadays there's a lot of so-called account has been compromised, so they just have their normal username and password, and so of course once their account has been compromised, that's where you get all those compromise. Okay, so what we need to do is basically we need to empower the remote users to have their own multi-factor authentication. So basically they can do their own self-enrollment. They just download our Cisco Duo app, and then they can register. Okay, so basically you can, for the Duo MFA is basically is a so-called passwordless MFA. So basically you can just send a push and just approve it. Okay, so not only we do actually MFA, we can actually do continuous inspection. So we were actually able to monitor. So with our Cisco M, if let's say your machine has been detected there is a malware, we can actually block the access to the application. So we have complete visibility on your device, okay, whether is it mobile or your laptop. You can see whether is it comply or not. And of course, you can also do some posture checking. You will check and see whether your laptop, whether is there any antivirus or not. Okay. So for Cisco Duo, we actually 3 packages. This is the Duo MFA. This is basically the basic MFA. You can have your normal multi-factor authentication, a single sign-on, and of course you can protect any application. Okay. We also have a Duo Access, which is basically what you get from Duo MFA. Plus, you can do policy-based control. Okay, so you can control the user who can log into the application. You also have device visibility and also some health checks. And lastly, we have the Duo Beyond. This is basically the full complete protection. So here we can also verify the particular agent, see whether is there any AV installed, okay? And of course, it's more towards on the device trust, right? And so of course, we integrate Duo with your Cisco M and for endpoints. So this is where we can do the protection. Okay, so if your machine has been affected by malware and compromised, basically the Cisco Duo will actually protect and basically deny you access to your application. All right. So I will go through with you the demo later on. Okay, so there's actually a website for you to actually access to actually go through how our Cisco Duo actually performs. Okay, next, of course, our top is the M. This is the advanced malware protection for endpoints. So basically, what M for endpoints is basically our next generation endpoint firewall, IPS, and antivirus, and of course EDR. Okay, so we are basically cloud managed. Okay, so basically it does all the EDR activities. So we basically monitor all your activities, your registry, your processes. Okay, and of course we protect Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android. Okay. So what we have is basically we have our e-memory protection. So again, we have exploit prevention and of course system process protection. Okay, then of course for the on this we actually use mCloud. So basically for all the scanning, we actually will query our mCloud. So that's where we have all the latest file reputation, okay, the of course IP reputation, and of course we are also basically having our machine learning. So you actually check for any malicious activity. Okay, and of course we have our own antivirus. Okay, and of course you can also do your own custom detection. So you can actually create your own rules to actually detect certain viruses. And of course for post-infection, of course we have our device flow correlation, and of course we will also check with any IOCs detected by our threat intelligence Talos. And of course, we can also do all the analysis. Okay. Again, if a malware goes in, maybe through USB, then of course our machine learning, we can actually detect. Okay, so we detect the virus, then of course we will possibly clean it up, and again we will update this to our mCloud, where all our other products like the firewall, the web, email gateway, all will be basically having the latest protection for the particular new malware. Okay, and of course, the main feature for our endpoint is basically the EDR. So this is where we do all the continuous active monitoring. Okay, we can actually do all the sandboxing, we can check for IOCs, and of course, we can do the threat hunting. Okay, so you use the SecureX to actually do all the threat hunting, or you can actually do it for our M console. So as I mentioned, everything will be actually sent to our mCloud. Okay, so basically it's protected using your Meraki, your M, your firepower, your routers, okay, your ASA firewall, your web and email gateway appliance. Okay, so basically it's all protected. Okay, so any detection, whether coming from endpoints or the gateways, we'll be able to protect. Okay. So next I'll go through is the Cisco Umbrella. Okay, so this is basically our DNS protection. So of course we will actually work with our M. Okay, so our M for endpoint will protect from the viruses, and we use the Cisco Umbrella to protect the users, okay, from the DNS level protection. Okay, so it's more tools on the web browsing and also for any protection against CNC connections. Okay. So of course nowadays all our internet access are basically, of course, now we are all working from home. So of course we will normally access all our apps through direct to our cloud, or of course we connect back to our HQ via VPN or SD-WAN. Okay, so of course we need protection. So if we only have a centralized protection from a HQ, then of course the rest will be protected. So that's why we actually implement Cisco Umbrella to have the full complete protection. Okay, so for our Cisco Umbrella, we have actually 3 models. Okay, we have a 3 license. One is essential. So these are the basic DNS protection. Okay, so of course we'll protect any malware, phishing websites. Okay, so if you basically what we do is we check for any DNS requests, then we check and see the bad reputation domain or IP address. Okay, then of course the one that we normally propose is basically the advantage edition. So this is basically will block both using direct IP connection that can bypass DNS, and also of course we have the full proxy. Okay, so you can actually enable the proxy to do the HTTPS description and inspection. Okay, and of course we have the Umbrella Investigate, is where you can actually query any domain to see how what's the security level like. Okay, whether is it the level is good reputation or not. So from there you can actually do investigate based on the file or website or URL. And of course, lastly, we have our Secure Internet Gateway. What is this? Our cloud proxy. Okay, there basically we have the full again proxy access, HTTPS description is where we can do a full web filtering. Okay, you can do URL filtering. Of course, we also have the sandbox. Okay, and of course, we also provide the cloud delivered firewall, so you can actually do your firewall blocking from our cloud proxy. And of course, we also have our CASB. So we can also protect access to your cloud application. Okay, so it's very straightforward. So these are all the functions that we have. Because basically the console is one single console, but based on your license, you will see the additional tabs. Okay, so basically our Cisco Umbrella is basically we are based on all the protection. So we have every day around 620 billion of DNS query. Okay, we have 100 million active users, and of course 190 over countries. So basically we have the broadest range of protection, okay, from the DNS level. Okay, again we also leverage on our Talos, where we get all the latest security threat information feeds. Okay, you can customize your domain list to block, and of course IP lists, and of course for HTTPS layer, of course is where we can actually do the HTTPS description and basically blocking. Okay, so we use this actually, the main function is also to block from ransomware. Okay, as you know, ransomware, they need to connect back to your CNC to actually drop the malicious payload and the encryption key. So if the endpoint is unable to connect to the CNC, basically your ransomware will not be happening. Okay, so basically you can say this is the first level to prevent on the ransomware. Okay, so deployment is very straightforward. Okay, it's basically you just need to change your DNS to point to our Umbrella DNS IP. Okay, that is about it. So if you have your internet gateway router running DCP, you just change the DNS IP to the Umbrella. That's about it. Then you configure all the policy based on our Umbrella Cloud Management Console. Okay, so if you want to have user identification, we just install our Umbrella virtual appliance. So basically, it's internal DNS appliance where we will be able to do all the DNS queries. So if you are querying your DNS for locally, we will point back to your own local DNS server, and whatever to internet will basically again so-called route everything back to our Umbrella Cloud. So from there you can see all the policy you can define based on the users. Okay, or you can just use our Umbrella roaming client, install it, and we will be able to base policy based on the user, because we actually install the agent on the client machine. And for those who are using any connect, for the VPN, of course, it's also built in. So it's under the roaming mode. So this way you can also get protected. Okay, so for our secure internet gateway, which is our proxy, basically you can actually do a IPsec tunnel with our Umbrella Cloud. Okay, so all your internal access will basically tunneled to our cloud. That's where you can do all the filtering. Okay, or you can also do some proxy chaining, or again using the pack file. Or lastly, of course, using the interconnect. okay, to actually connect to our cloud. Okay, so this way you can all the full function of the firewall and of course for the CASB. Okay, so this way you can also enable a firewall policies. Okay, so of course you can also protect your your 365 registry. So you can again enable who can access. So if your company is using 365 only, then of course you can select policy to only allow 365. So other personal 365 account, you won't be able to log in. So this is where you can actually do policy control. Okay. And of course, our app discovery. So from here, you can basically check all the apps that the user has been basically accessed. So from there, you can actually do the blocking control. Okay, so again, as mentioned, we work hand in hand with our M for endpoints. Okay, so for Umbrella, we block all the malicious requests for the DNS layer. And of course, M is basically to block any malware coming from maybe thumb drive. Okay, so we detect, and of course, we do the response. So of course, we do all our threat hunting for SecureX console. We can do all the threat hunting. Okay, so now we'll go through the secure email. This is basically our email proxy. Again, for our cloud email security, we have our cloud SaaS version and also the on-premise appliance or virtual appliance. Okay, so what we do for our email security, basically, of course, maintains our spam and threat filtering. So again, we base on the IP reputation, the sender domain reputation, and of course, from our Talos, okay, where we can actually block all the IPs and of course domains. And of course, we have our malware protection, okay, and of course, we also have the M. Okay, as mentioned, we also have M, so we can actually do all the sandboxing and also to have all the so-called latest update from our M cloud. Okay, of course, we also have anti-phishing and basically malicious URL detection. Right? So you can also have your own content filtering to basically filter out emails. Okay, we also have anti-spoofing. Okay, so this way you can do all the forged email detection, the business email compromise detection. And of course, again, we integrate our Cisco SecureX to actually do all the threat response. And for our control, we have, of course, our DLP, encryption, and of course, right. So again, we'll basically be able to filter for any attacks from the email. So again, we can actually see all the so-called headers, and basically we'll be able to block, okay, or quarantine the particular emails that we actually see from the incoming emails. Okay, so we will check for any URL that is inside the emails. So if there's any malicious URL, basically be able to block. Okay. And of course, our BEC, so we'll be able to check the whole SMTP headers. So we'll check and see whether is it coming from the actual sender domain or not. Okay, so this way we're able to do the blocking. Yes, as mentioned, we have our file creation, file sandboxing, and replication again based on our M for the emails. Okay, so again, all this is all connected to our M cloud. Okay, so that's where if any viruses that come from the email portion, it will also be updated to your M for endpoint or vice versa. Okay, we also have a special feature called Safe Print, where we will be able to so-called do we will convert the particular Microsoft documents, especially if there's any so-called scripts implemented in the document. So we basically do a conversion into image file. Okay, so there's no script running in the document. So once the recipients receive the safe print document, it's okay. So, but if they still want the original document, we can actually just forward back them the original documents. Okay, so this is a feature that we have that other providers they might not have. Okay, This is to protect all the Microsoft Office documents. Okay, we also have protection for the Office 365 user. So this is where we have the email cloud mailbox difference. Okay, so again, it's basically very straightforward. You will do all integration with the Office 365 to actually scan through all the emails, and then we also have integration to our SecureX to do all the check hunting and of course for all the blockings. Okay, so there's no MX record changes. So basically, it's all through API and of course the journaling of the exchange. Okay, so we will not store any so-called emails into our cloud. Okay, we will just do the scanning of the emails through the API. Okay, so again, we have all the file and URL reputation checking. So we'll just check for any phishing links or of course malware. Okay, of course, we can actually protect from internal threats. So we can actually protect from any internal email sent to internal users. We can actually do the protection. Okay. So of course, you can actually have both our secure gateway plus the cloud mailbox. We have the full protection. Okay, so we use our email security for the incoming and outgoing emails, and we use the cloud mailbox for the so-called internal email scanning. Okay, so this way we can actually work hand in hand, or you can just opt to select the cloud mailbox. Right, so for the web portion, we have our secure web appliance. So basically, this is our on-prem web proxy. So again, all our security products will actually connect back to our threat intelligence talos to do all the latest web replication, file replication, and of course the IP and domain replication. Okay, so this way we can actually block so many millions of connections and bad reputation sites. Okay, so basically we have enhanced URL category for our web proxy. Yes, of course, we have malware specific categories. So this way we can actually protect based on the type of malwares. Okay, and of course, we also have URL category based on the DNS. Okay, and of course, the mail specific. Okay, so we can actually block any like traffic that's coming through email. Okay, right. So again, our web proxy also again connects to our M for the anti-malware protection. So again, whatever files that we are unable to scan will be sent to our M cloud for the sandboxing. Okay. And also we also have the file retrospection. So whatever files that we are unable to detect previously, we can actually do a retrospective scan. So we can actually scan back, oh, you have a previously this file is not malicious, but now it's malicious, then we'll be able to clean. Okay. So of course, our web plans will also have the latest threat analytics. So basically, we'll actually go through, check through on the domain generation algorithm. So whatever newly created domains, okay, of course, we will block. Okay, so if now this domain is only created last 3 hours, we will straight away block because it could be a new malicious website. Okay, so again, we have options to do some policy based on the level of the DJ. And of course, 100% we will definitely block all the CNC connections. Okay, so what you can do from outside, so for any inbound or control, basically inbound, you can basically customize your own URL and domain blocking. Okay, of course, you can based on our URL categories, you can also do bandwidth control. And of course, you can also control by applications, the file types and download size, and of course, if you're connected to 365, you can also basically protect it. Okay, for our controls, same thing. So what we have is basically we're able to also do the on the DLP. Okay. Right. So again, as mentioned, all our URL filterings basically we are powered by the Talos. So this is from time to time they will be updated. All right, so this is basically again based on our traffic from our Cisco Talos. Okay, so you can also customize the application that a user can access. Okay, so you can do all the controls, okay, based on the media streaming or Facebook, okay, or particular applications. Okay, so of course you can also do the secure YouTube category. Okay, so you can see block, but then allow to certain categories on your YouTube access. Okay. Okay, so of course you also have the DRP function. Okay, so you can basically block any uploads, okay, of files to the cloud apps. Okay, so this way you can actually do the DLP control. So again, everything we can connect back to our SecureX to do all the threat hunting and blocking. Okay, next I'll go through the next gen firewall. So again, we also able to protect and do the monitoring based on our Cisco hierarchy. Okay, so of course this is a different portfolio as this is under the hierarchy branding. So again, these are all the models that we have. Okay, from 50 users up to the campus model. Okay, so of course we also have the virtual model. You can protect on your VM or cloud environment. Right. So all of our Meraki security devices, again, the main thing is of course the SD-WAN, okay, to interconnect to all your branches. Okay, so what we have is basically again our next generation firewall, okay, our IPS, and of course the anti-malware. Okay, so again, it's protected by our M cloud, right? So of course, we certain models we have the 3G, 4G available via the USB. Okay, then of course, main things of course the SD-WAN. Okay, we also have the application control. We can actually control your bandwidth, your URL filtering, and of course the application control. Right. So of course, with the integration with our Cisco Umbrella, you can have a full SASE protection. Okay, so all your VPN clients connected back to your Meraki will be having the complete protection with our Cisco Umbrella. Okay, so it's very straightforward. We just link the Meraki, your SD-WAN to our Cisco Umbrella. Then basically all the internet access from your VPN users or your branches all will have the full Cisco Umbrella protection. Okay. So next I will go through the Cisco Firepower. So this is models on our enterprise SDN firewall. Okay, so of course we have our new Firepower 10101 up to our data center chassis bay 9300 series. Okay. So of course these are all the models that we have. So again we have two. One is our Firepower model, and one is again our ASA. Okay, so ASA is more towards on the firewall, okay, and IPS, but also with our Firepower threat defense software, you can also have the full next gen firewall protection. Okay, so again, the model is based on the throughput. All right, so we also have the cloud version, okay, the virtual platforms. So of course, we also have it on your VMware, so you can have your virtual firewall on-prem or of course the public cloud. Right. Okay, so again, as mentioned, everything will still go back to our Talos for the latest security threat internal fit for the URL, IP, and DNS. Okay, so again, from our firewall, we can actually do all the blocking. Okay, we have all the so-called, we have the open app ID. We can actually check through all the apps that are going through our box. Okay, then again, of course, you can have the URL filtering. Okay, and of course for the anti-malware portion, again, it is again tied back to our M cloud. Okay, so this is all what we can do, and of course, all our telemetry will be again be able to connect to our SecureX from where we can do all the threat hunting. Okay, so basically we have this retrospective detection. So whatever file the user downloaded before, that is not detected as malicious, but after we detect the particular file that is actually a malicious file, we were able to do a retrospective scan where we can show you all the devices or users that has actually downloaded the file. So from there, you can actually do the advanced threat investigation and of course to do the cleanup. Okay, we also have the file registry where we can actually show you how the file transfers from the network. So it could be this file has been downloaded from a particular website or server, and the file has been transferred to other endpoints. So we can actually do the file trajectory, so-called monitoring. Okay, so as you can see here, you will notice that you can see all the endpoints that has actually downloaded the particular files and be able to do the quarantine. So okay, everything is using our M cloud. Okay. So next I'll go through Stealth Watch. This is our network monitoring security. So this is more towards on the based on the flow. So we collect all the net flow or IP peaks, okay, or by mirror span. You actually correlate all the flow records and come out to have the visibility of the whole network. Okay, we can also do the so-called the cloud telemetry. You can also see all the so-called transactions in the cloud. So we come back to our measurement console, we can actually see all the connection between the endpoints to the servers or the servers to the internet. So from there also we can do the threat hunting. Okay, so if that particular endpoint has gone through connected to a bad reputation IP address, then basically we can also do the blocking. Okay, so it's very straightforward. You just collect all the net flows from your network devices. Okay, or of course IPFix is maybe from your IPS. Okay, and of course we can also do the spam port. Okay, so we can do a spam port. We have our flow sensor. Okay, to actually convert all the mirror port into our net flows. Okay, and of course we can also forward it to your SIM. Okay, for all the SNMP and syslog. Okay, so if you're using the SASE model, all the connections are encrypted to our cloud. Okay, so of course we also have our own on-prem StealthWatch manager where we can actually manage everything from on-prem. Okay, so it's where you can actually see all the network traffic. So we can also monitor whatever traffic that the client has accessed that is actually malicious. Okay. Okay, we also have the lastly I will go through is the secure cloud workload. This is basically implemented from citation. So this is more towards on your cloud or server workload protection. So this is actually a solution where we install our agent to actually check all the activities from your servers and application. So basically what we do is that we will track your app, how your application works. Okay, we'll see what your application, how it connects. Maybe let's say if it's an application server, it connects to database. So we'll be able to track all the connection based on your application. Okay, so this is where you can actually do all our micro segmentation. Okay, so we can basically do a baseline. So once we have the baseline of how your application works, then we can do the policy. Okay. So this is where you can say it as a host-based firewall. Okay, so this way you can actually do all your micro-segmentation. Okay, so you can do all your policy. So if you can have policy where your production can connect to your development network or not. So you can actually see all. So by right, your Windows servers, they can connect to your AD servers, right? Or you can assign certain jump hosts to only connect to certain workloads. So other than that, you basically block all the traffic. Okay, so if those users are not supposed to connect to another server, then of course you will actually block. Okay, so we can also actually monitor based on the traffic. So if let's say it's a web server, but you notice there's a FTP connection, then basically you can have the alert, and of course you can actually do the blocking. Okay, so this is where we can also connect to our SecureX to have all the visibility of the server workload connection, and from there you can also do the blocking. Okay, right. So of course we also have the vulnerability scanning. Okay, so we actually check to see whether there's any so-called vulnerability application that is running on your server. Okay, so we can see we can actually do a scanning and come up with a score of your particular server. Okay, whether your server has vulnerability or not. So this is where we can also show it on our SecureX. Okay, so from there you can basically do your patching for your servers. Okay, so as mentioned, all our products will connect back to our Cisco Talos, which is our threat intelligence site. So again, we will basically monitor. We get all our security feeds, okay, from all our Cisco products, or of course our integration with our third-party partners. Okay, so we can monitor all the billions of email, DNS, web traffics, and of course we come out with we also have our own full-time threat researchers. So this is where we will have all the latest threat updates to do all the. Okay, so again we have all the product telemetry. So our Cisco products, okay, data sharing among all our Cisco products, and of course vulnerability discovery. So they also have their own vulnerability team to actually see all the vulnerabilities that all the major vendors having now, like all the Microsoft, Adobe. So all the latest disclosed or known vulnerabilities will be able to protect. Okay, and of course their own honeypots, external honeypot. So if once you actually have our Cisco security products, you can also actually register and actually connect to the Talos intelligence, where you can actually also create your own incident response. So if you notice there is a particular hash file or URL that is not detected, you can also actually create an incident, update to our Talos team, and then this way you can actually get all the new protection. Okay, so all of our Cisco security will be protected, okay, based on the M for endpoints, okay, your network layer. So it is where our stopwatch and certification will be able to do the protection. Cloud will be, of course, the email, okay, and the web. Okay, and of course, the normal is incident response. So again, this is also motors of the SecureX. Okay, so this way I can actually do all the protection. Okay, so this is an overview of our full Cisco security. Okay, so of course we have our internet, to where all our umbrella protection. Okay, and of course for on-premise we have all the email, web, firewall. Okay, the network visibility, and again, Target is our sandboxing. So again, all our products will connect back to our M Cloud. Okay, so this is where we have the full protection. So any new malware that is detected on any of the platform is able to update to the M cloud and basically will be protected to all our products. Okay. So next I will go through on the SecureX. Okay. So this is the main thing. So again, nowadays, most of your customers, they have multiple security products. They each have their own console, each have their own administrator. Okay, so this is not too good where if there's an outbreak, they have to go to each and individual products to actually manage and to do all the threat hunting. So this will cause a delay, okay, because there's no consolidation among each of the security products. Okay, so that's why it's best to have a single integrated product, okay, among all the different security. So this will actually reduce all the noise because we have the consolidated detection. Okay, so of course it's easier for you to manage the team. Okay, so you have a centralized single console. So if it's a network security, then of course we can also notify the network admin. Okay, so again, of course, reduce the number of gaps. Okay, so basically you will have the full control, okay, for all your security products. Okay, so again, the best thing we do is again is all threat centric. So what we do is that once there is a malware detected from any part of the level, it could be endpoint or cloud or gateway, will basically block everywhere. Okay, and of course, as mentioned, the MFA. So you have to make sure that you are basically a zero trust client, so you have all the protection. Okay. So for SecureX, it's more towards you can treat it as your own SOC. You can actually do all the automation tasks from our SecureX platform. Okay. So this is how our dashboard looks like. So you can actually see all our Cisco products that you have in your environment. So whether is it network layer, endpoint, cloud, or your own applications. So this way I can do all the threat hunting, okay, and of course the orchestration or automation. Okay, so of course you can have a single console for your different teams, your SecOps, ITOps, and your NetOps. Okay, and we can also integrate to your third-party IDSM or SIEM or SOAR products. Okay, so SecureX is very simple. Everything is based on API. Okay, so we have built-in integration to our own security products, or we can also have the API integration to your third-party solution. Here we have a Ribbon single sign-on, so we can actually have a so-called simplified dashboard. Okay, and of course, the main thing is, of course, is our threat response, and of course, the orchestration. Okay, so again, everything we all manage from a single dashboard, other than investigating by each individual product. Okay. All right, so I will basically go through on the so-called demo. Okay. All right, so before that, I just want to make sure that our SecureX is not a SIEM, okay, because we don't have any data lake. Okay, we were just query using API calls to all our managed product. Okay, so that's why you cannot compare it as a SIEM. Because SIEM normally will have all the data lake because you will get all the events. Okay, for SecureX, we are doing API calls to all our managed products. So that's why we do not have any data lakes, right? So you don't need to pay for any data retention or data store. Okay, everything is all done through API calls. Okay, so I will go through the demo.
Guys, any questions before the demo? Any questions from the floor with regards to the Cisco Secure portfolio? Yeah, Roger, over to you.
Can you see my screen? Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so basically this is our SecureX dashboard. Okay, so from here you can basically customize your own dashboard. Okay, so again we go by our Cisco products. So of course here you can select I want to have a dashboard based on M. Okay, I can have a dashboard based on my firepower, okay, or based on the other products. Okay, so this way you can customize your dashboard, okay, based on maybe your SecOps team, your IT operation teams. So you can see customize it. Okay, so here on the left is basically all the application that has been integrated. Okay, on the right side you can see all the latest news. Okay, so it's very straightforward. Any of these dashboard, you can click it and it will bring you to the particular product. Okay. Okay, so what I will show you is basically models on the threads. Okay, so this is our SecureX Ribbon. So this way you can actually straight away quickly click on any of your products. And from here, you can actually see all your Facebooks, okay, your incidents. So incidents are all the thread feed that we get from all our products that's integrated. So this is considered all the events. Okay, so like for example, this is the event for my next generation firewall. So you can see all the details like summary, observables are all the detection that we see. Okay, of course you can see in details. Okay, for the reference. So from here you can actually do the investigation. Okay, so you can select all the observables, then you investigate. So this is where you actually go to the threat response. Okay, so here you will actually go through, you will collate all the events that is collected to all the Cisco products. You will check. Okay. All right. So once it actually is able to collect all the info, all right. So you can see here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so it's still collecting all the info from all our integrated solutions. So from here, you can see in detail. Of course, you can customize your layout of the screen. Okay, so from here, you can see in details, right? So you can see, oh, this is a sub endpoint that is connected to this particular IP that is detected from the firewall. Okay, so from here, you can see whatever that is purple color is basically detected from our endpoints. Okay, so again, you can see this is our M for endpoints. This is detected. Okay, so green color are those files that we actually scanned and detected. All this highlighted in yellow, orange color is basically a link that is suspicious. Okay, so from here you can see that there's this file that has not been actually so-called scanned. Okay, so if you see there's the blue color icon here, is basically whatever we have been detected. So let's say for this file, you want to see what is this file about, you can click on the drop down and you can actually add it to the current investigation. Okay, so what it does is that it will again correlate all the detection from all our products, okay, to actually see any of our other products actually have also seen this particular file. Okay. So now from our normal firewall events, you can now see. You can see now it straight away has integration to our email. So from here you can see these are all the detected products that we actually can detect that particular file. Okay, so this is the file. Okay, so
Roger, sorry to interrupt. So in order to make this session to be more interactive, we would like to give away five gifts for best question asked in the chat box. Please feel free to drop your question in the Q&A chat box. We would like to hear from you. What is your question or any feedback as well? Okay. Sorry, Roger, you can continue.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so from any of the box, okay, so let's say for this machine, what you can do is you can, okay, so this file is not known. So this file is also actually come from the particular email. So this attachment actually is from the email portion. Okay, so here you can see all the Cisco Mesh ID is basically based on our email security. Okay, so from here, of course, you can, any of the products you can see in detail, or this is coming from this email address. Okay, so from here, you can also do what we do is basically you can so-called for this file, you can edit to the block list. Okay, so over here, you can see all the particular things you can do. So you can also do orchestration. Okay, so let's say you want to submit this to our ThreatGrid sandbox and then post it to the Cisco teams, okay, WebEx team. So now this file will be sent to our ThreatGrid to do the sandboxing to check. And once we have the result, it will be posted to our WebEx team. Okay, so if let's say if it's a particular web page, okay, so this web page is unknown. So again, what we can do, we can straight away block the domain. Okay, you can block it. So once you block it, the umbrella will actually block. So no one can actually access the URL. Okay, so this is how you can basically do all the blocking straight from our SecureX Dashboard. So you don't have to go to your individual product to actually do the blocking. Okay, so it's very, very, very straightforward. So this makes your threat hunting and threat investigation and the so-called response much faster. Okay. Right. So our next things I'll go through is the orchestration. So this is where you can do your tasks or your workflows. Or like just now, what you see when I click on the drop down, you can do all the so-called workflow. Okay. So it's very straightforward. So like the task that I did, okay, to submit. So these are all the normal workflows. So it's basically you drag and drop and do your own workflows. So like for this workflow is that is check whether it's a URL. So if it's not a URL, then of course it will close. If it's a URL, then you will send it to the ThreatGrid to scan through the URL. Okay, so this is using the sandbox. You will see what the URL does. Okay, so once it does, it comes out with the finding. Okay, then of course this action is that I will actually post this to my WebEx team. So there's a message from our threat response. This is the URL submitted and what is the result. Okay, so all of these things is very straightforward. You can just drag and drop. Okay, right. So it's straightforward. So here are all the so-called actions that you do. So let's say for this particular action, if you want to, if you are using, let's say your ServiceNow, okay, you can straight away drag and drop okay, to create a ticket. Okay, so it's very straightforward, very easy to use, drag and drop, and then of course on the right side you can do all the necessary. Okay. So that is our SecureX for us to do the threat hunting and of course the orchestration. Right. So of course you can do by schedule. Okay, so you can do a schedule. Maybe every day you will scan through your products to collect some logs. So let's say if you are using like a stealth watch, you can have a schedule to actually scan through the logs for the maybe the top 5 IP address that is malicious. Then you can do your workflow to actually inform maybe the network guy, or basically update to your network team. Okay, so you can schedule by schedule, or this is where the automation will come in. Okay. Right. So is there any question? Okay.
Yeah, there is a few questions in the chat box.
Oh, okay.
Maybe let me read for you. Wait a moment.
Okay.
This is a question from Marcus Ng. Can SecureX capture events for all devices, for example, endpoint, server, network devices, security devices?
Yes. So if you can see, basically this is all our integration. So endpoint is basically our endpoint security. So of course, we have an email. So here is a network. As I mentioned, the network will be under our stealth watch. Okay. So for any, like for web, you can go through our umbrella and also our WSA. Email is of course our email security. So again, for SecureX, it's more towards on the overview from our Cisco products. Okay, of course, we can also integrate with other third parties. Okay. So that one again, as I mentioned, our SecureX is based on API. Okay, so here you can see we can also connect to VirusTotal to actually submit all the files to VirusTotal to do the scanning. Okay, we can also integration to IBM. So if you're running QRadar, we can also integrate with QRadar to have all the so-called latest so-called intelligence from our Talos. Okay, so you from your QRadar, you can actually right-click your event to actually connect to a SecureX to do the threat hunting. Also, you can so actually do that.
Okay, I believe Roger has answered the questions. So next questions will be from Denise. Does your solution works for scanning threats in file, share within Microsoft Teams or other Microsoft collaboration platform?
Yes. So on the scanning portion, that will be under, of course, the umbrella. Okay. So under umbrella will be, of course, the so-called more towards on the cloud prevention. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So Cisco Umbrella is basically what we can do. So this is basically more towards on the secure email gateway, secure internet gateway. So this is where you can actually do all the policy based on the your cloud application. Okay. So this is where you can actually put in. But of course, I can't put in my domain because this is basically a demo. So of course, you can actually have rules to actually log files, or let's say you upload a particular virus to the Teams or OneDrive, we are able to actually scan. Okay, but then this again, as mentioned, it has to go through our umbrella secure internet gateway. So this, as mentioned, all will be going to our Cisco Umbrella proxy.
Okay. So we have another question from Lostin. Since SecureX does not store events, is there a way to export event-related data, such as the affected host, detected threats, actions taken, or etc.?
Okay. So again, as mentioned, all the, let's say from the dashboard. Okay. So back to incidents. So all these incidents is actually all the event logs that our SecureX actually query to the API. Okay. So that when we query on my firewall, this is all the event logs that I can see. Okay, so from here, let's say, oh, this is a new event. So this is where I can again manage this incident and create a so-called new incident ticket. Okay, so you can do all the particular findings that you want, and you can do a snapshot. Okay, so snapshot is basically whatever so-called incidents that you have every done. Okay, so from here you can see all the so-called details of this particular investigation. Okay. So again, you can actually also do all the so-called hunting from the product itself. So of course, if it's a Cisco M, again, all the so-called incidents, you can actually do the query from the Cisco M. But this is basically a snapshot that you can actually so-called have. So again, you can download the snapshot. Okay, so again, all is just a JSON format. Okay.
So okay, last question will be, can SecureX support third-party product?
Okay, third-party product, as I mentioned, it will depend on the integration. So of course, there are some cases where the third-party so-called software or product, they have created like a relay or so-called third-party integration, which we can actually so-called integrate. Okay, so as long as, because again, our SecureX is based on API. So like that's now the orchestration here. So let's say if you want to integrate with your, maybe your SIM or another party product, what we can actually do is that, okay, oops. Okay, the workflow, as I mentioned, what we can do is we can do the HTTPS.
Roger, sorry, we need to be quick on this because now already past 11, so we have to pass the
So again, so again here is where you can do the HTTP API call to your product. Okay, yeah. So this is where we can actually integrate with your third-party product, or is by through API. Okay. Right. Is there any other question?
So far, no. So if any question, please continue to drop it, and then we will answer in the chat box for you guys. So next, we will like to invite Al to present on the partner onboarding. Yeah, you can end your demo because we are running out of time.
Yeah, sure.
Bear with us.
Yeah,
okay.
you can pass.
Yeah.
You can pass it to.
Yeah, I'll pass the ball to Al. So Al will present on the partner onboardings and our Cisco promotions for security.
For those Q&A, we will still continue to address it over the email. If not, we will actually call you personally for the matter. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Tang.
Okay, thanks, Kwai.
You're welcome.
So I will share my turn right now.
Yes, your turn. Yeah.
Okay, I cannot share it. Oh, I jam here. Yeah, a bit issue. Cannot share my screen.
So while waiting for Al to share his screen, actually,
Log in again.
Huh?
I cannot share my screen.
Maybe you send to Roger, so Roger can help you to share the screen. You email the slide to Roger.
Okay, hold on.
So I think
Okay.
what Roger presented there, just now is quite an overall of Cisco Security. So if any of the reseller you would like to know further, you can contact us. So we can do maybe a more specified session for you guys, like which topic you're interested in.
Hold on.
Okay, guys, this is Ting. While Al is preparing his deck to come on board live again, so let me announce a little bit. Hereinafter, I'm actually coming from the cybersecurity team, and alongside with Mr. Al and the Cisco team. As for end of the conversation today, in my email, I did announce that I will be able to give out a complimentary report to any of your client. Okay. By all means, all I needed is only the www.xyz.com or something. So you can just drop me an email over the matter. But in order to keep the conversation alive, after the conversation today, the webinar today, I will drop each and every one of you an email. You just respond back to me in private or just respond to my email will do. All right, I'll be able to give out the complimentary report for your end user. All I need is only the www.xyz.com or .my. That's all. Okay, guys. So keep that in mind. Please claim it from me. Thank you. Over to you.
Yeah. I already sent the file. I need Roger to help on the open up the file.
Maybe you try again while waiting.
Oh, okay. Now, okay. My screen.
Sorry for the technical issue. Your slide is on the way.
Okay.
We see your screen. Can you share your slide?
Can you see?
Just now, yes, but not in presentation mode.
I think you have another screen. Please correct the screen.
Okay.
There's a small typo error in Ingram. Do excuse me for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, we overrun by 13 minutes. We can speed up already, please. Thank you.
Now can see?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, can. Should.
Okay. Good morning, all partners. Sorry for your waiting, and hope everybody is safe. Okay. So today, after we have the section of the technical presentation by Roger, now we come to the section of the promotion incentive program done by Cisco and Ingram. Okay, see the slide. The Ingram and Cisco Secure team, we are running some reward program and promotion to our Cisco partner on the Secure Umbrella and SecureX, and also some firepower, right? So what is the incentive for these two programs? We have the Umbrella Shogun Reward and the SecureX Lifecycle Incentive Program. Okay, who were eligible? Okay, if your company have any advanced security architecture special engineer, or you have opportunity, then you are eligible for this program run by Cisco and Ingram. Okay, first thing, for those partners who interest to run the Cisco security product, first thing you need to onboard, become a Cisco partner first. So you want to become a Cisco partner, you can contact Ingram as a master distri of the Cisco product. You can contact our PM, you can contact our BDM of the Ingram team, right? Okay, for these two programs, what deal are eligible? Eligible for the SKU, we have the minimum booking object of the USD 10,000, right? Total contract on the net value book, all right? So all the deal you can start book on April 26, okay, or later, right? Clear? If any question, can drop on the message chat box, right?
I'm sorry,
So,
can you we do a quick one? Run
yeah.
through. Yeah, because it's
Out of time. Okay. First thing, we have Umbrella Shogun Reward. So Umbrella Reward is leveraging on the Umbrella Partner Console to do the POV. So with partner, we're able to generate and manage Umbrella Trail license for their customer. This is important. Okay. So anybody require more program incentive, you can email to me. I will send you the incentive schedule, the program, right? So second one is a SecureX Life incentive. The SecureX now is an incentive program where partner can earn up USD 5,000, all right? USD 5,000 for SecureX activation. Okay, so we have the summary, short summary here. Who can earn account with create at least one Cisco product integrate with a module, all right? With the Cisco product module with SecureX. In one user, end user email domain is added into the account, right? So with the product, one product you're running, you can earn about 500 USD. Two product, you can earn up about 1,500 USD. If more than three, you can earn up 5,000 as a target, right? Okay. Anybody need more further detail, you can email to us, right? Later I'll show our email address. Thanks. So the third program from Ingram, we have the promotion of the Firewall, Firepower. So this promotion will start on the 3rd May until the 29th July by this Q3 calendar, right? This power module Firepower is 1010. We have 4 models, 1020, 1040, and 2310, right? So what we have here is we have 3-year subscription for the support and the license for threat defense and malware and URL license. So the bundle price is 3,399 only, right? So hopefully you guys can grab it after this riot. So there's a model. We have 3 models run together, right? And finally, we have the internal riot for this riot internal incentive to all the partners who ever could means counter a bit about the 40 gate firewall model, right? If eligible, you are entitled to quote 1 quotation to your end user, right? For a small business, you're entitled to get 10 ringgit per quote. Okay, this is a contribute from Ingram. Okay, so any question? Let's say any question you can ask, right? So let's say you need to drop any question, you can email to us, to me, and to the Cisco product manager, right? Yi from Ingram. Okay, here is our email address.
Okay, one last question from my side. Al, please go back to your promo,
Which one?
the firepower promo.
Firepower. This one.
Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, out there, I know I'm here actually stopping you guys from exiting, all right, but hear me out from this. We have a firepower. It's a firewall, right? And look at the price. It's around 3,000. What if you see this opportunity, all right, in terms of replacement or in terms of placement of new environment? And what you're going to pull along? You can pull along SecureX as a free complementary platform. So thus, you are just not selling a hardware. What you are selling is visibility and ease of managing your client's environment. So what does it monetize to you? It's just not the hardware markup and you've gotten your margin. What you get is that we tie to SecureX. End user is not going to invest any further platform, but you as a reseller can monetize by means of a monthly report generating, a healthcare analysis, bi-monthly. You can custom your services to your client. So that's why this entry firewall price ties together with the SecureX. It could assist you to improve your margins. So kindly consider this as a takeaway, as this is not, this is a good deal, and actually with all the visibility and the ease of use, this is how we're trying to improve your margins instead of sales. So task guys, do take a look at it and give some thought, and kindly reach out to us for more further questions on the matter. And the POC is not an issue at all, right? It's not an issue at all. Please welcome. Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is actually Ingram exclusive promo. How can you go back to the promo?
Sorry.
Yeah. So actually, Cisco has applied a very high discount for this. Is more than 70%. So please help us to our firepower promo just now, which thank firepower promo. Yeah. Cisco has apply a very high discount for this. Please help us to promote. Beside this model, Firepower 1010, we also have other models as well. 1120, Firepower 1140, and Firepower 2130. So there's other model available. So please feel free to contact us if you have any opportunity, POC, or any things. Please bring us in. Yeah. That's all for my end. I think we don't want to drag long. So I think we can end this session. Thanks a lot for those who stay with us.
Yes.
We will share all the slides and the recording plus our contact details to you guys. Thank you. Stay safe and healthy. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, each and every one of you.
Yes.
Sure, this email address, you can copy and email to us any requirement. Thank you.
We will send in email as well. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye. Yeah.
Wan Yi, I take on you guys over the teams, over the other windows, our local teams, right? Good. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks. Last minute.
No. You're done good.
Okay.
You're done good, boss. You're done very good, boss. Thank you.
Still got participant inside, right? Cannot hear.